Hello, ladies. Welcome once again to Women Without Children Own Your Story. I'm Tracey, and this is my friend Chantel. We're here again talking on Mother's Day. So last week we had a beautiful conversation on what it's like from our perspective, our own personal stories and our feelings on Mother's Day and how we feel, how we move through the day, and some of the issues that come up for us as women without children. So we thought it would be a great idea to do a follow-up and just discuss free flow, how our day went, what insights we received, what blessings and struggles came along. What do you think, Chantel?
Yes, I do, because I don't know about you, but I was actually surprised at my reaction this time. And a beautiful friend, when I spoke to her about it, said, no wonder, Chantal, you're opening up. You're opening up to experience this, to be able to support women without children and women with children, so they understand. I went, okay, if that's one of the reasons, it was okay to go through the day feeling, I was way more touched by it this time than before. And we'll come back to the reason why, Tracey, because that's just, so it's just been interesting to see. And ladies, those of you who are watching, I'm 58, and I'll be mentioning that numerous times, because it actually doesn't matter how old you are, because you can still experience this, get insights, be taken aback by your reaction. You might feel you're okay with it, and then suddenly it happens. And it's how, and I think today, Tracey, is how we're going to show people how to support themselves in that space and knowing they're not alone.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I have to agree. For me, after all of our conversations and just literally having you to talk to and beginning opening up, sharing our experiences and how we actually feel for the first time, just being so open and honest, I woke up on Mother's Day thinking, I got this. I can do this. And I opened up social media. And of course, everyone is, all the beautiful mothers are out there are sharing their gifts and the love that they're receiving from their children, grown or small. And I felt like I had it, and I was busy congratulating everybody and really, truly, honestly happy for them. But that only lasted for so long. And I found myself going downhill, and I found myself in tears throughout the day, off and on, not all day, but off and on, and literally feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah.
And so how did your day start?
Well, similar to you, which is what I thought was really interesting, because considering we're completely different time zones, and we both thought I had a very similar reaction or response as you. I do always my morning, ladies, I always have my morning ritual. That's something I always do. I write, I do my spontaneous writing, draw an oracle card, which we'll be doing before we finish. And like you, I thought, oh my goodness, I've got today covered, because we'd had our conversation, we'd talked about it. Very excited to spend it for a change differently with my mother and with my one of my siblings and his wife. So there was a whole new family dynamic in there as well, which was exciting and different and embracing. And like you, I started to read social media, and that was it. I went, I didn't burst into tears at this point, but I definitely felt, and I thought, I can't do this, because I could feel this time round. Up until now, I'd felt numb. I realized now I'd numbed out. And I'm normally very good at feeling and expressing and whatever. But I realized I think what I'd done, I had pushed my feelings aside. It wasn't happening. I didn't matter. Who do I share it with? You don't want to spoil the day for everyone else. So I just went off social media. And it was lovely, because when I wrote about this on one of my Facebook posts, I wrote a blog about it in the end, because I thought, no, we need to start putting it out there. And it was a great way for me to be able to then also sort out my feelings. And woman that I know like us is, without children went, and of course, I didn't think of this. Social media makes a huge difference, because in our day, we didn't have social media.
That's right.
We didn't have this constant reminder. Yes, we had it in the
That's very
TVs
true.
but not social media.
Yeah.
And I went, my God, I'd forgotten about that. So I went back and changed my blog, just a couple of things, and went, yes, social media is making a huge difference.
Yeah, and I have to say for myself, I really appreciate it because of, I mean, I've been dealing with this for a long time and really diving into my emotions and really doing the deep inner work of healing all my pregnancy losses. And I did, for the first time, I actually noticed this time, and it could have been there before, but this time I noticed on social media how many women were reaching out and expanding across the divide of all women, you know, not the divide, maybe the unity of all women, and just honoring women as a whole. There were a lot of posts out there, and I really do want to honor and appreciate those women who were able to do that, and men. You had a beautiful comment from a man, so bless his heart. So that was great, and I really, really did appreciate that. But as the morning did go on, I realized that from now on, Mother's Day is a day I need to stay off social media.
Yes, yes.
That's a boundary for me that I'm claiming.
Yes, and I agree with you. And I think that's something that you gave me the idea when I wrote the blog, how to care for yourself. Because I don't know, one day you might feel comfortable to share the ritual you did, which I just thought, oh, wow, I hadn't done. You can do it in so many different ways, like not be on social media, like one friend said, and I'm not sure, you know, she sends herself her card and flowers, which I thought was a nice idea. But see, for me, where I still get stuck on that, and what you were saying, how it's becoming more inclusive, I don't still feel included, because to me it's perfunctory. It is simply words. People still don't actually reach out. They might say yes. I think it's again that feeling, oh, I've done that, I have been inclusive, when in fact for me I didn't feel that personally. And I think what I found, I was thinking at, well, yes, it's nice to be there, it's nice to be recognized, but we're still, when I looked at them, we're still down the bottom here, not up the top here, we're still down here. So it's interesting what came up. And I felt a bit churlish here. And then it was like, well, there's no cards for women without children. There's no one sending it to flowers to me. There's still no one jumping on my bed getting excited. Yes, I know it's the romantic side of that. I know I've romanticized it too, but that is what we are constantly shown in ads and books and TV and social media, is all this joyful side.
Yeah.
So I even felt hindered to actually put something on the day, because I didn't want to ruin the lovely posts, the loving and the kindness, because I looked like I'd be a party pooper. Now, look, that's okay. I did it the next day or 2 days later, but it was just interesting. These are the, ladies, these are the things we're exploring. It's no right or wrong, because it's about us knowing it's okay to be feeling this way. It's actually okay.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to read, because I think what you said was so beautiful. He's a local, well, Australian artist called Leon Pericles. Sorry. And my neighbor said, we had a good chat. She is a grandmother. And he wrote, today we celebrate all the exceptional women who guide us. Now that for me was what all exceptional women, that I felt included in. Yes. Yeah. That was really hit the nail for me.
Love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Pleasure, because I think it's important, because I know for me, and I think this will be another topic, you know, when people say you would have been a good mother or you do mother, I still don't, for me, mother is, and that's the other thing this beautiful friend said to me here, you haven't experienced the birthing process. And I went, that is it. So to me, I don't feel like a mother, because I haven't experienced the birthing let alone the getting pregnant bit, or the fun, or I have had the fun bit, but not the getting the pregnant bit. And I went, that is it for me. So I explored that. So I think this could be something, Tracey, we could explore in another one, is what does mother mean, mothering and all that. So I started, as I said, I mentioned it in my blog, because I went, because for me to say to me, but you are a mother in the way you are, I can't at the moment compute it from here into here. I can't own that yet. May never do, but that's okay. It's about us exploring, what does it mean for us? And for you, it'd be different than to me.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Mm.
And that's what I wanted to share as a little segue. Like, as we all know, for those of you who are here for the first time, Chantel and I, our experiences are a little bit different in that I've had multiple miscarriages. And so Mother's Day, it kind of hits me in that I want to have that connection with my child of light, with Bodhi. And he has a sign that he gave me from the very last time that he came through me, the last time that I was pregnant and miscarried. And it was a sign of 1111, 1111. And that is adding up all his numbers from the day that he passed. It comes to 1111. And so I was taking my pup for a walk and just, saying to him and to my fur babies on the other side, just please give me a sign. I just need a sign. And I was in tears. I was just like, I just need a sign that one of you is close by. And I got home to a message from my husband saying, how you doing today? And when he sent it, it was at 11:11.
Yeah,
I was like, perfect. That's perfect. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
So I got my sign. And from there on, as you mentioned, I was able to really begin to hold space for myself. It was just that little period that I had a bit of a struggle. And I'll show you. I just, I chose to create this little grief cairn. Yeah. And on the top is an Apache tear, known for being able to hold space for our grief. So this is going to be used in my rituals that I use with women in the future. But this was a precious little thing to just, with each stone, put that energy into it, put my tears and my sorrow into this, but also my love and my gratitude for the journey that I've been on and how far I've come.
And I'm so pleased and delighted you shared it. I had goosebumps again, second time round. And that, I think, is the power of who you are and the work you do. And what we're going to be doing in our closed Facebook group is creating rituals and things, because what will work for one is not for someone else, but we want to open you up. So what you're teaching me something here as well. And it's interesting because, yes, I'm unplanned or due to circumstance. So in a way, when I even hear you talk, I even feel, even though I know you've had loss, I get that, but it's like, oh, she had actually a pregnancy. She knows what it's like. Is that moment, of joy, then followed. I don't want to take away from that, but I haven't had that. And I've never discussed that with anyone. So this is, for me, quite vulnerable to say that to you, not wanting to push aside your loss. Right. But there's that moment I haven't had.
I understand. Yes.
Yeah. And these are the things, we need to talk about. And you and I have chosen to talk about it publicly, or more like this. And it has taken courage. But what we want women to know, you don't need to talk about it public. But for me, I was thinking about it yesterday when we were preparing for this call or this conversation, it's about us feeling. I want us to start feeling it to be able to release. Then you can start sharing it where you feel comfortable with, or who you feel comfortable with. And that is why we've started the group, was that you can feel safe in that space to start feeling, to start sharing. Then you can take it out to the world, whether it be this or this.
That's exactly right. And it's having, it really is about freedom. I know that's one of your core values, is freedom. And it really is. For me, I held my grief inside for so long. And it made me feel small and insignificant and not valued. I didn't value myself. I didn't feel worthy as a woman because of all my losses, because my body could not hold my pregnancies. I went through a lot because of that. As I know many, we all have our different stories, but the purpose of this, of sharing so freely between you and I, that safe space that we have, even though we're sharing with the world, whoever might listen, between you and I, we're creating that connection and that safe space so
Mm.
that we can create the container for these women, for you ladies, whoever chooses to join us in our space, to really feel safe. And whatever way you choose to share your story, you may not ever want to share your story, and that's perfectly fine. But to have that freedom
Yes.
to really begin to own your own feelings and own your grief and your sorrow, whatever it might be. We face it at different times in our life. Like Chantal and I are both in our 50s. I really connected with my healing journey in my mid 40s. So for some, it may be younger, for some, it may be much older. It really doesn't matter, but it's about finding that peace and the freedom.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Tracey. And that's something that I found liberating, because we still compare ourselves to each other or to others. Oh, mine wasn't as bad as that. Oh, and this is something we've mentioned it before, is that I didn't think I had anything to grieve.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't had a pregnancy loss. I hadn't had a birth or a death. So I didn't realize I had anything to grieve. So you see, I didn't even think I could do that. So again, that's why I think what we're talking about is powerful, because we are coming from different spaces. Our stories are different, yet the emotions are similar. And that is, ladies, what we want to share with you. So, so thank you for those of you listening. Thank you, Tracey, as always. This is always it's like we're having our little circle with us, and then energetically all these beautiful women joining us, whoever meant to join. It's wonderful. Wonderful. So, ladies, we're sort of coming to the end, and we always do love to finish with a card. So today I'm going to use these ones. Now, when we go and post it on, at the moment, we still have individual YouTube links. We put our linked tree with all how you can contact us, how you can get hold of the group, who we are, follow us on Facebook, come into our group, and just get to know who we are and start sharing, because this is what it's about. We are creating a community. And actually, I read this morning, just before I came down, by one of our Australian comedians, a woman. I saw her write IWS, Invisible Women Syndrome. I went, yes, because that happens when we get older as well. IWS. And that's what women, so Invisible Women Without Children Syndrome. We could actually know what, you write that thing. We could actually start that as a hashtag, or as actually could, yeah, I like that. So we could create something new here. And I think it's also about realizing we can have joy and play in this too, and laugh, because sometimes we need to laugh. That helps break the intensity,
we do.
Yes. And that's part of grief, isn't it? So, all right, just going to put my hand on my heart. I'm just going to ask what the cards are going to offer us today. Okay, let's just see what comes up for us. Oh, Madonna of Roses. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, Madonna of Roses, number 43. All right. There's a way to be fierce that doesn't betray the kindness of your heart. When you know that to enable someone to behave badly towards you doesn't help them or you don't need to subject yourself to unnecessary guilt for taking care of yourself, or fear that you aren't being compassionate. You're teaching yourself and others the truth that love is based in respect, and that trying to take what doesn't belong to you through any form of aggression or manipulation, seduction or persuasion is neither loving nor respectful. Thorns are sharp because they need to be. They don't diminish the beauty of the rose, they protect it. Now, spiritual guidance. Your soul is a holy rose, a sublime creation under the care and protection of the Madonna of Roses. The soul that is a holy rose holds an exquisite spiritual perfume. She goes through struggles early on in life that teach her when she will need to protect herself from those people or situations that would try to cut her off from what vitalizes and inspires her with life. She's taught to recognize those that would steal her away from her destiny and try to use her for their own selfish purposes. She knows that people who try to use her do not love her. They're interested in what they will gain from her, not what they can share and create together with her. And that's something I'm loving, what we can share and create together. There's that beauty. So she's not shy to let such unworthy hands that grasp after her feel the piercing of her thorns, By the time she reaches spiritual maturity, full blooming as the rose, she understands that she is here on this planet to heal many souls with her inner divine feminine beauty. And I love that, because that's what we're supporting, is letting go of grief to come to that place. She can only do this when she takes care of herself. She can allow others to love her, but she can never put her well-being or safety into the hands of anyone other than herself and the Divine Mother who watches over her. She is her own woman, her holy rose, this holy rose, a living temple of the goddess, bringing heavenly beauty to earth. Just to finish, it says, sacred ritual. Say this prayer aloud. The Madonna of Roses blesses me with the wisdom to share myself with those who truly love me. I forgive those that have tried to use me, and I forgive myself for allowing myself to be used. Now it is time to start anew with strong thorns of protection. My rose soul blooms for all to behold. I love that. My rose soul blooms for all to behold. Thank you. Thank you. Again, thank you, Tracey. Thank you, ladies. Leave a comment, reach out if you need. We're here. Join us wherever you wish to do that on our journey. Namaste.